Have you ever felt like the history you were taught felt, incomplete?
Definitely. Like there are these whispers of a grander, maybe stranger past just sort of hidden.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty extraordinary, something that seems systematically erased. The forgotten global culture known as Tartaria.
Yeah, we're going to unpack some architectural mysteries, look at some unsettling historical anomalies.
And really explore how such a vast civilization could possibly have been, hidden from us.
Okay, ready? This might shift some perspectives.
So let's jump right in. These architectural anomalies, they're kind of the starting point for a lot of this.
Right.
Imagine seeing a photo, right? A magnificent, really ornate building. The caption says, 1889. But you look at it and it just feels impossibly ancient, out of place. Like something's not adding up.
And what's really fascinating is our sources showed this isn't just like one weird building. It's a global pattern.
Yep.
Yeah, countless similar structures. Grand civic buildings, huge World's Fair exhibition halls, things that seem to have been built incredibly fast, almost impossibly fast.
And
then bafflingly demolished just as quickly in many cases.
Wow.
These inconsistencies, the research suggests, point towards Tartaria as maybe the missing piece, an advanced, sprawling empire hinted at by these incredible but often temporary structures.
That seriously makes you wonder, doesn't it? Such widespread anomalies. It feels like more than just, coincidence.
Exactly.
Which kind of leads us straight into what some sources call the controlled reset, like history being deliberately wiped clean.
Well, think about the Great Fires, Chicago, 1871, San Francisco, 1906.
Right, huge, devastating fires.
But they also conveniently destroyed vast areas filled with that intricate older style architecture we were just talking about. Was it all just bad luck?
That's the question, isn't it?
And if you connect the dots, the sources argue these events often happened right before cities were rebuilt, but rebuilt differently.
How's that?
In a more modern and controllable grid. Think straight lines, less ornamentation. So you have to ask, who benefits from clearing the past like that and then redesigning things in such a uniform way?
It suggests something systematic, not accidental.
That's the argument.
And, beyond maybe intentional fires, there's this other physical evidence that's really hard to ignore, the mud flood mystery.
Ah, yes. This is compelling.
You actually see buildings today or in old photos with doors and windows half buried, like the ground level is way higher than it should be, grand archways just disappearing into the pavement.
Ornate foundations found deep underground during excavations. It's like the bottom floors are just gone.
Yeah.
Buried.
Yeah.
And this phenomenon, the sources propose, points to maybe a global cataclysm, something that buried cities worldwide in thick mud or silt, a literal layer of forgotten history.
There are even old images, aren't there, from the 1800s, showing people seemingly uncovering massive buildings, not constructing them new.
Exactly. Which really flips the script on when these structures might actually originate from. Buried history right beneath our feet.
But it wasn't just the buildings that vanished, was it? There's a human element to this erasure that's, frankly, pretty unsettling.
You're talking about the orphan trains?
Yeah, the orphan trains. Between, 1854 and 1929, hundreds of thousands of children relocated across continents.
Hundreds of thousands.
Why are there so many kids, apparently, without parents? And you see these photos of them, sometimes near these huge, empty-looking buildings. What does that suggest?
Well, the sources connect this to a possible systematic repopulation program after some kind of major reset event. The records are often spotty at best, which is suspicious in itself.
So a major societal disruption, maybe linked to the mud flood or other events, followed by an effort to refill the landscape, reshape the population.
That's the implication the research points towards. The sheer scale is hard to explain otherwise.
Okay, so if we're seeing architecture erased, cities buried, and potentially populations replaced, why? What's the motive behind hiding a civilization like Tartaria?
Control. It really boils down to control, according to this material.
How so?
History, as we're commonly taught it, isn't necessarily the full story. It's often presented as a curated collection, selectively edited.
By who? Gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers, powerful interests, those who benefit from a particular narrative. It's not just about hiding facts, it's about shaping our whole understanding of reality, as one source puts it, control education. and you control reality itself.
So it's like a war on memory.
Precisely. A war designed to make us forget not just history, but maybe our own potential, our divine essence, as some sources describe it, our inherent connection to creativity, spirit, maybe even forgotten technologies, make people compliant.
Wow. But the legacy isn't totally gone, right? The sources talk about Tartaria not just as ruins, but as something more.
Oh, absolutely. It's described as an empire of knowledge, spiritual elevation, harmonic energy, and clean technology. A very different vision of the past.
Concepts like ether and cymatics.
Yeah, ether, this idea of an energy medium filling all space. And cymatics, the study of visible sound, vibration patterns. The idea is that Tartarian buildings, the star forts, the domes, spires, cupolas we see remnants of, weren't just structures.
What were they?
They were potentially designed as frequency hubs, machines almost, to harness, store, and distribute energy, perhaps from the ether itself, to create harmonic fields that could benefit health, consciousness, society.
That's a completely different way of looking at architecture.
It is. Building with meaning, harmony, consciousness.
Which brings us to this really powerful idea: we are the empire remembering.
Exactly. It's not just about digging up old facts. It's presented as an act of reclamation. The sources say the builders are returning.
Meaning us.
Meaning us. Not necessarily to physically rebuild old structures, but maybe to reignite that spirit within ourselves. Building our lives, our communities, with that same sense of meaning, harmony, and connection. That blueprint, they suggest, lives inside us.
So we've covered these baffling buildings, the theories of deliberate erasure, this vision of a lost, harmonious civilization.
It's a lot to take in.
It really is. What if remembering Tartaria isn't just about history books, but about remembering how to live differently, more in tune with, harmony and spirit?
A kind of inner rebuilding?
Maybe. It suggests you have the power. Observe your surroundings, question the narratives you've been handed, trust your own intuition when something feels off. As one source powerfully states, you are the archive, the record, the blueprint.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. What will you remember next?